Nick Sirianni, let me say this, and then I ain't got nothing else to say. You better be glad that they didn't go score.
How come?
Because that would have been your last day as a Philly coach.
You think?
Why on earth does your running back rush for 200 yards? And to close the game out, you put it in the hands of the guy that almost tricked the game off early. We are back. Welcome to McCoy and Van Noy. I am one half of your gracious host, none other than Gerald McCoy. 93rd wonder of the world, big chest from the Midwest, the one that never fails. I only thrive. You know why, killer? Because I'm from the south side of the 405. And my gracious co-host is...
Kyle Van Noy. That's all you're getting today.
That's all you're getting today. You know, I know y'all know I start the show with a lot of great energy, but man, when the mindset behind McCoy and Van Noy was to bring the fans into our world. One being a retired player, one being a current player, and just give you guys some insight on how we see the game and how we think about the game. And in doing so, from the media side, from a person who played and is now on the other side, I gave my viewpoint. Well, Kyle has been gracious enough all year to take us into his world. Win, lose, or draw, he's been the ultimate pro, taking us into his world, and we've all become family in that instant. So yesterday or Sunday did not feel great for any of us. So Kyle is the ultimate pro. He showed it all year. Proof of being, he said what he was going to do at the beginning of the year, not during the year when things were going great. Beginning of the year, he said, I can play at an all-pro, Pro Bowl level. I'm a double-digit sack guy, and he went out there and did it. Just because whoever was voting to pick and didn't pick him as a right now Pro Bowler or an all-pro doesn't mean he didn't play at that level, because he did. So that shows the level of professionalism that it has shown all year, and then all the way up into the game. Made big plays, played into the end, and he's here. You know, a lot of guys would have said, oh, I'm not filming, I'm not doing the show, I don't want to. Killer, not only did he say he was doing the show, he made sure it got done, and he's willing to talk about whatever. So we're going to let Killer get into it, and then we're going to keep it pushing.
First thing I'll start off, just wanted to say happy MLK Day.
For sure.
I think today is an awesome day, and, you know, some people may think differently, however you want to think, but I just wanted to give a shout out to MLK. I know he had a vision back when he gave that speech to 250,000 people, and boy, oh boy, has it. I'm sure, you know, there's flaws into everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to see where we're at, I think he would be proud. And, you know, the continued growth of where we need to grow too. I still think it's a long ways, but I think we're, you know, heading in the right direction. Yes, it could be faster. Yes, we could criticize a lot of things, but I think he would be proud too. So I just wanted to give 2 seconds just to say shout out to MLK. Awesome human being, one of one, and just so grateful to have studied history, to study him and know a little bit about his life and his family life, and just an incredible person. And he wasn't just that speech, he was so much more. And just wanted to take a few minutes. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, G.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you know, that right there alone shows you, was trying to tell you how professional this dude was. And, you know, that should let y'all know that, you know, it's not just made up words. He shows it by how he lived. And going into MLK, man, I actually set my kids down, and one of my nephews who's over here because they're out of school, and we talked about it this morning, and they got an extensive breakdown of who he was. And they was like, wow, I didn't know, you know, it was that. I was like, you know, and I told them that what he did and what he represented is something that A lot of people can learn from, and we all have learned from. And I said, y'all just know, we went out to eat last night because my son didn't play the game, and I flew in from LA from work, and my wife was like, hey, let's meet up and go eat dinner. So we eating dinner, and we had to wait for our meal. We had to wait to be seated or whatever. So I asked him, I said, you know how last night we were like went in the front door and waited in front, and it was all those different types of looking people, and we was all together? And he was like, yeah. I said, y'all are just used to that. It didn't used to be that way. I said, so when you think about Martin Luther King and everything he did and represented, that is normal for y'all. That is what he was fighting for that to be normal. Nobody batting an eye, whether you got to wait 10, 20, 15, whatever. You're not looking to your right, to your left, like, oh, they not supposed to be here. It's just all of us just waiting to sit down and eat. Nobody's thinking about who got to go around to the back door and grab your food and go. The bathroom was just the bathroom. It didn't used to be that way, and my kids didn't understand that. So I sat them down and talked about that to them today, because I don't ever want this day to go past without my kids understanding who this man was.
Yeah, but I also think it's cool that we're getting to the point where,
yeah,
they don't have to think about
They don't have to think about it, and that's great, man. And I told them, just now they understand why we celebrate.
For somebody like that.
Now they understand why we celebrate. I told them, y'all don't understand because they know sports. They daddy's an athlete. So I said, the Nobel Peace Prize is like the league MVP for nice people.
Humans.
They was like, oh,
that's awesome.
I was like, I was like, you want to be like the nicest person in the world? You get that? That means you are stamped. This is a phenomenal person. And they was like, oh, I get it now. I'm like, he got that. And
that's
they was
awesome.
Like, now I get why he gets a day. I'm like, exactly. So, they get it now. So
that means we need to get days soon, right?
I know. I'm just saying, let me just get an hour. This is Gerald McCoy hour.
A Gerald McCoy day would be lit, though.
I have one in Oklahoma.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm from the south side of 405. I represent right. They said, hey, man, that dude left. He represent us right, man. We can get
what day is it?
It's March 13th.
Ooh, I'm about to go crazy on March 13th.
Ooh,
that's awesome.
Yeah, baby.
All right, let's jump into the bad news.
Bad
news. We got eliminated. Hate saying it. Bills 27, Ravens 25. Just hate how seasons end, You sacrifice so much, you do so much, and it's like a million miles an hour, and then it's a halt. Like, season's over, done. Everybody goes their separate ways. Close that chapter. This one hurts. Mainly because we had, this is not blaming anybody, but 3 turnovers is rough in any game. Hard to win a game like that when you have 3 turnovers. Wasn't happy with, how our group played on defense of responding to some situations. Second half, very happy with the way we handled
responded
situations.
Like a son of a gun. Man.
We bowed up really, really well. Wish we just did it a little bit sooner, but we had the right attitude and energy in the second half. I mean, we knew we were still in the game, and we got it popping in the second half. And, it just wasn't enough. You put yourself in a hole against a really good team. And, something that I saw them do, which I know I don't think I've ever seen them do this, is how conservative they played. That was the most conservative Bills team I've ever played against. I don't know about the talent thing that Josh Allen was saying. I think everybody knows they're talented. They have a top 5 O-line probably in the league. MVP Allen, solid skill players.
Man, I don't know what he was getting.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I can understand
people
defense.
find a reason to put a chip on their shoulder.
I do think defense, they could have had, they could feel that way because people were saying they were, too small and, all that. I don't know. Like, we lost. I'm not talking trash. I mean, I felt like we still ran the ball pretty well in the game. It just came down to turnovers. They had 3 critical turnovers that they made. They have some good players on there. Bernard, their middle backer, he's been one of the best backers in the league, middle linebackers. He's created turnovers. He's kind of took over that Matt Milano role that was established by Matt Milano, and now he carries that torch of being that guy of causing turnovers in the middle. He's been very, very good. So he played well. DeMar Hamlin's pick, and he had a sack in the game. And then the turnover, fumble, and Von Miller scooped it up and got it down to the 8-yard line. Defense was playing on short fields all game, and which is tough against a good football team, and they played fundamentally sound. Got to give them a lot of credit how they played the game. They didn't make any mistakes. Josh Allen didn't make any very minimal mistakes. When it comes to putting the ball in harm's way, their running backs held on to the ball. They did a good job, and we didn't, and that was disappointing. And then, man, it's so frustrating when you lose. Like, you start looking back and this and this and this and this, and really just comes down to what McDermott said. They played with fundamentals that night, and that was the outcome of the game. You look at the yards, we out totaled them in yards.
Out everything now.
Yeah, it's kind of like what the Texans did in the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
They didn't have any turnovers, but they literally did everything you could to put themselves in a chance to win, but ended up making some costly mistakes. But also, I do put 4th down stops into a turnover.
That's a turnover. And in the Chiefs game, they were 0-1 on 4th down. So.
Correct. And so, a couple of things that stood out in this game to me was the red area. We didn't bow up well enough in the red area. They did have a good time in the red area. As far as defensively, they had the stop where the ball was on the 3-yard line, ended up kicking a field goal. That was huge. That was a big momentum change, as well as us on the flip side. We didn't do a well enough job in the first half of just limiting them to field goals. That PI call was hard. That was a tough one a tough pill. And then, I just felt like the energy was there in the second half, and we didn't start off that way on defense, and that was a little bummer. I think that was just a collective group. And I don't think the elements was a problem either. Guys were trying hard. Guys were running the ball. Guys were playing hard. Guys were hitting. I think it was just a matter of just didn't play our best football when it mattered. And, that's not what Ravens fans want to hear. That's for sure, after seeing how things ended their seasons in the playoffs before, whether it be to Cincinnati, whether it be to Buffalo years ago, I think in 2020, let alone last year with the AFC Championship, to now this year in the divisional round where it's turnovers. And, everyone gets to be right. The Ravens team is the only team that can beat the Ravens. And, we did that, unfortunately. And, it's go ahead, G. It's your turn. If you have questions or whatever.
No, I just a few observations, man. Looking across the whole league of the games that were played, the team who won the turnover battle won the game. In the playoffs, you got to do a couple things You gotta be able to run the ball, stop the run. For sure. Run the ball, stop the run. Be great in the red zone, be great on third down, protect the football. And it's easier said than done.
Yeah. What's crazy is we did do well on third down offensively, and we did do pretty well, I believe, on defense on third down. So,
and I'll say this: y'all played like champions. Y'all just didn't do it for 4 quarters.
Yeah,
and that's what sucks. Is because they didn't do anything where it's like, man, they just couldn't do. The Ravens just couldn't stop them from doing this, or the defense was stopping the offense from doing this. No, a few minor mistakes, a few things go the other way, and in hindsight, it's 2020. But it wasn't like it was this or it was that. It was right here, right there, right here, and right there. And that's how the game went. And for everybody, and I'm going to let you take up for your teammate, but let me say this, being an Oklahoma guy, let me give some facts. Mark Andrews has lost 2 fumbles in his career. 2. One being way back 2019. Okay? He's one of the greatest tight ends of his generation. If I'm not wrong, isn't he the all-time leading touchdown leader in Ravens history?
Yep.
Okay. Having untimely mistakes doesn't take away from who this player is. Tuck rule. Save Tom Brady, and they end up changing the rule. But if they don't make that change, they lose. Is Tom Brady not Tom Brady?
Yeah.
The Patriots lost. The Patriots lost to Philly.
Too.
Yeah. The Patriots lost to Philly in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady fumbled in the pocket. Is Tom Brady not still Tom Brady? If that fumble happens in the first quarter, all right. But he fumbled in the fourth quarter when they needed him to take care of the ball because they were trying to drive to win the game. It's an untimely mistake. Just happened at the wrong time. But mistakes happen. But what we not going to do is kill this guy because he made a couple mistakes. What about all the great he's done? What about how people was writing him off and he shook back in the season he ended up having?
Yeah, come back from a broken leg.
All of these great things that Mark Andrews has done, we not going, if he just woulda, if he just woulda, if he just woulda. There's a lot of if they just wouldas in history.
I think all the players had those in the game, including myself.
That's what I'm saying.
So you can't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So for people to say, man, they fall all the way back, and this is what. Hey, listen,
shouldn't have been in that situation.
They shouldn't even been in that situation. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And we're talking about a team that beat the Ravens. But their MVP quarterback, his stigma is he gets in these situations and he has boneheaded mistakes. Okay, so now he finally, and let's not get it confused, when y'all had him in the red zone, he turned around, he was about to pitch that ball. But
I saw that.
He was about to pitch that ball, and we would have been saying again, there he go again with another boneheaded mistake. So let's chill and calm down.
I wish he would have pitched it.
I wish he'd have pitched it too.
I wanted to see what would have happened.
Let's chill on the if he would have, or this is the let's relax.
But he played well enough to win.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to give him kudos. They had a good plan of
definitely
keeping.
I'm just talking about
focus, but I definitely.
I'm just talking about. Doing this for one person. No, the team lost. There was a lot of things that could have been better. They were untimely. Yeah. We all know that Baltimore Ravens team we watched is not the one that everybody said was going to win the Super Bowl. Point blank, period. We all understand that. But pointing at, it was him. It was him. If he just would have. No. So I just wanted to say that the game went the way the game went, and obviously y'all all are family over there. That's the whole atmosphere in there. I've been in that building. I know the atmosphere there, so I know internally it's none of that. I'm talking about all the people outside. That's Mark Andrews, As me being a Sooner, hey, y'all know I ain't going for the BS. So let's chill on that.
I think LJ said it best, right? You win as a team, you lose as a team. Yeah, he had untimely mistakes, but as well as John Harbaugh said, are we in a bunch of these games without Mark? I mean, no.
That's what I'm saying. So, what are we talking about?
10 plus touchdowns, I think 11. So to sit here and say all these things, I just think about what Mark had to go through to get back to even play this year from a broken leg, which I'm sure a lot of people haven't done, but to work that back and to get back ready is tough. It's not easy. People just think players, I think, are like these mutant humans and can just do anything, right? Which is cool. That is awesome. If you think I can do that, great. Awesome. Mm-hmm. You give me more power. Why not? But, Mark's human and he had to go through breaking his leg, and then he had a car accident that was not just a walkover car accident. It was crazy. It was nuts. When I was talking to him, it was wild. I can't get into details,
right?
But
of course,
it was shocking. And then to deal with another injury that he was during the beginning of the year, and then to see where he took off. I mean, I think he had the yips maybe for a game or two. Mm-hmm. And to be where he's at now, I mean, people were arguing he should have been in the Pro Bowl. So, to blame it all on him, it's a team game. Defense could have played better. If they don't score, they don't win. So,
and it's crazy. I'm looking at this. All 4 teams who lost had more yards than the team who won.
Yeah.
But taking care of the football is
fundamentals.
Essential.
Take care of the football, man. Yeah, fundamentals. Yep. And they I hate to say that, they out-fundamentaled us yesterday, and they played better.
And that's what happens when you're playing against the best of the best. That's why a lot of people, the playoffs is different, man. I tell people all the time, playoff football, when you play during the regular season, you can get away with a lot. You can do. That's why, basketball, when you think about the NBA, it's like, this team had this great record and this and this. Okay, you got to go down the schedule. That, they play so many games in the NBA. It could have been this team was fresher. They're a lot younger. The base scheme they run works throughout the season or whatever. But when you get in these playoff series, all right, now we can adjust to what you're doing, and you have to be able to execute that and do it 4 times better than us. Everything tightens up when you get in the playoffs of anything. Yeah. Football, basketball, you get more. So let's say that happened. That was game 1. Y'all would have had a chance. Okay, now we get to do it all over again. That don't happen in football. Yeah. You get one shot at it. So you don't have the luxury of, man, we turned the ball over too much this time. All right, when we get in film, hey, we're going to emphasize, hey, let's take care of the ball next game and this and that. No. You don't have that luxury. So you're playing against the best teams. You got to be on point. And they say it's any given Sunday. They say that for a reason, because on any given day,
anybody, you got to play the game.
The game has to be played.
The game. Yep.
The game has to be played. And
before we go to break, though, I do want to say, honestly, thank you to all the Ravens fans that have shown me love personally, whether it's going to the grocery store, whether you just see me, or whether you message me on all my social medias, or watch and enjoy our show. Just wanted to say thank you so much. You guys made this year for me special. You guys cheered for me super hard, and I appreciate all the love. Personally, my personal individual season was a success when it comes to the goals I had, the goals that I reached. So that was, but the ultimate goal as a team failed. And that sucks. So, you know, the one thing that I will always say is when you have number 8, you always got a chance.
You always got a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk about the rest of the games this weekend because it was a lot of exciting football. And it's unfortunately the weekend didn't end, on the way we wanted it to end. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Yo, we are back. All right, let's get into the rest of these games. Let's stay in the AFC and let's go Chiefs, Texans. Chiefs 23, Texas 14. The Texans came into Kansas City with a lot of momentum. They played in Week 18. I said that the best decision that DeMeco Ryans could have made is to make his team play in Week 18. They played. They brought that momentum into the playoffs, played great, beat the Chargers. But when you go on the road and you're facing the champs, you got to be on point. And the Chiefs, people wondered how they would start, how they would come out and play. But the champs are the champs, man. And you got to knock them off. And we seen why they're the champs. They posed a question for us on game day morning. And they said, do you think that Travis Kelce can flip a switch in the playoffs? And I said this, being great over an extended period of time is very difficult. It's very hard to sustain greatness as you get older. But
not for him.
Kels, no, I'm saying over a regular season.
I know,
over
I'm just
season.
Saying that was just
but in the playoffs,
going off what you were saying, not for him.
But in the playoffs, he knows if I can beat Travis Kelce for 3 games, we can do something that's never been done.
Yo.
And it showed. You gave Andy Reid 3 weeks to put together whatever they was going to do. They didn't know who they were going to play until last week, but you allowed them to get healthy. And Andy Reid can, okay, in this situation, we're going to have this. When this situation, we're going to have this, and we're going to do this and this and this. Then he knew he was playing the Texans. Freak. I mean, you don't allow Andy Reid to play you for a second time. And that defense showed up. George Karlaftis, 3-piece in the playoffs. That's big time, man. And they just executed. They executed. And like you said, it wasn't any turnovers, but the Texans didn't get their 4th down. And that essentially
was the turnover.
Turnover.
I also felt like that was too early to do, personally.
Yeah. Now that, quick question before you give your synopsis. I mean, for lack of better words, now that you can talk about it, how'd you feel about the some of these calls we seen in this game?
Oof. I felt like so this is what I say, like, people can say whatever you want, but I guarantee you would be upset if you lost the quarterback that way, right? So you know who you're playing.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you make, like, the second one? All right, I get it. You got to wash that. But the first one, you got to know you got to go to the strike zone. Don't care. Doesn't matter. You can't say nothing. You can't push him high, nothing. You can't touch him high. Whether you hit his shoulder at all, I
don't care. Killer, can I just say this? People give me a hard time. Oh, Gerald was too nice, and this is why this didn't happen, and this and this and this. And y'all, everybody's seen it. The clip where I apologized to Ben Roethlisberger. Because I was so aware of who I'm playing at all times.
Yep.
You can only hit certain people certain ways.
Yep.
So that was where they had really first started to implement the hitting the quarterback in certain areas or, landing on the quarterback or whatever. And I had hit him, and instinctually, I'm like, freak, this is Ben Roethlisberger. And it wasn't even something that I meant to do. It just happened. My fault, Ben. Because I'm thinking like, man, don't you get up crying. And sure enough, he got up and they threw the flag. There's certain people you can't do it with. Stop. I don't know why people want to, well, he's in the NFL. It don't matter. Life ain't fair.
Yeah.
There's certain people who they're going to protect. And if you think 15 ain't the top of the top.
Oh, my gosh. Creme de la creme.
Come on, man. I've played against 12 in New England. I played against 12 in Green Bay. Shoot. They didn't do number 1 like that in Carolina.
Just like number 8, bro. You saw that
number
out of bounds 8, one. That was
number
crazy.
8, man. Come on, man. That should have been a whatever. Yeah. Anyway, you got to know who you playing, man. Number 9 in New Orleans. You got to know who you playing. They're going to protect certain people. So act accordingly. Accordingly.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
I just know, like, I'm very cautious of it because I like my money. And 2,
I was trying to give up nothing.
It's part of the game now. Like, you got to know at all costs, you can't run in there kamikaze anymore. You got to hit them in the strike zone. Don't care. Can't hear it. Don't matter. You know the rules. You know if you hit a quarterback. And where the ref was standing from his point of view, it looks like that. That's
what I'm saying.
Easy call. Now, the second one, that's got to be taken out of the game. Can't do it. Can't do it. The late sliding, and I know they're playing within the rules, and, they found a little loophole, but that's got to get corrected.
Man, we did a segment on that. We always have Walt Anderson on our show, and we ask him about certain calls, and he said, by the rule, by the law, it was a foul. And we was all on the show like,
a runner.
We was like, and he was like, because of how the guy leaned in his helmet, and even though he did hit, this area is still from this point up.
You think Walt's politicking?
I think Walt is riding for his side, and he was like, and then Mooch was like, well, we need to like extend this replay assist to more things. And he was like, yeah, for sure. We're definitely gonna do it in offseason. We like, man, we ain't trying to hear that, man. Like, I mean, technically it was helmet to helmet. It was just teammate to teammate.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit helmets, but like, come on, man. But I just,
Yeah, that was a rough call.
It was a rough call.
Too, like, let's go back to all the games. There's penalties in all games that were called and not called, even on our game.
For sure.
You had maybe the potential holding call, over the middle with Khalil. That could have been called. You had the DPI call. You have, the holding call that was called on Ajabo. Like, there was one done earlier that could have been called, but that one looked like good technique. All I'm saying is there's calls in every game, but I think it's the game-changing calls that people are upset about, right?
Yeah.
It's the ones where it changes the outcome because the team scores on that fans have a problem with.
Yeah, and I remember 2019, I was with the Panthers and we played Green Bay, and there's a picture of it, of me hitting Aaron Rodgers, and in the picture, he's on the ground and I'm on the ground, and this is Aaron Rodgers and this is my body. Like, we're laying side by side, and they threw a flag. Y'all seen the clip where they threw the flag and Aaron Rodgers caught the flag? That was me hitting him, and they said I landed on the quarterback. Fast forward later in the drive, that was to end the half. I think it was third down. Was it fourth down? It was fourth down. They went for it on fourth down, and I jumped the count, shot through the B gap, and got a TFL. They didn't score. So at that point, I was like, okay, I got to do something about this, because they can't get that call, go all the way down the field, and go score. Whereas the Texans, they could say that was a bad call, but Travis Kelce being wide the heck open in the end zone, now what we gonna say about that? That's on y'all. That ain't, of all people, of all people, even if we go back to the defensive lineman, you got to break the arm. You know who you playing. You can't allow this dude to get no type of flips, no type of nothing off. This is Patrick Mahomes. But 87 being wide open in the end zone, that's a y'all problem.
Yeah, like, I think Travis had a heyday. I think the Texans played zone, and that's what he's elite at.
That's not what you do with him, man. You don't play zone with Travis Kelce.
The other thing, too, is I wish the Texans gave the ball to Mixon a little bit more.
Yeah.
Felt like, when it was tied, he could have got a couple more carries in that when the game was tied.
I think the Chiefs' run game is a little leaky. I think the Chiefs' run defense is a little leaky. It was me. I was watching. I'm like, I watched some games this year. I'm
not tied, but when it was like 12-13,
right?
I felt like they should have ran the ball a little bit more. That's just getting the nitty-gritty part. But all in all, Chiefs played fundamental football. Texans didn't. Ultimately lost. Now let's go to the next game. The Commanders, Lions. I mean, this was
the surprise of the weekend.
Was it? Because I think people
not the win. Not the win.
Yeah, okay. Just how it happened.
How they won.
Yeah,
how they did it.
That.
Like, how it went. Like, 5 takeaways.
Yeah, that.
Really, the score honestly didn't tell how the game went. It's just like.
Yeah, I agree.
But
and
the Lions,
crazy thing is they still scored 31 points.
They still scored 31 points. But the Lions, okay, come on, man. Listen.
You turn the ball over 5 times.
You turn the ball over 5 times, but some of those were like, what are we doing? You running a trick play and you just throw it into a crowd of people. You a wide receiver, bro. Just take the sack, run out of bounds. Like, don't just throw the ball up into a crowd of people, man. And then if you do throw a pick, we gotta get him on the ground. We can't allow him to make a person miss and still get in the end zone. And then not only that, it almost cost us our quarterback because we all know we get a pick. Where's the quarterback?
Yeah.
Find him.
They need to bring back that segment. Jacked up.
Jacked up.
Jacked up. You got jacked up.
Hey, man, then he got him talking about I'm good now, bro. You ain't good, man. You threw another couple picks, man. You ain't good at all.
It's not funny because I'm a loser too right now.
I know. I'm just saying, bro. Golly.
Yeah.
Woo.
He got jacked up. That's what I was thinking.
That was bad.
Maybe bring that jacked up segment.
Yeah, that was bad, man. Listen, it was like
he felt crazy.
He fell hard. I was like, God. I said, woo.
You fall hard when your hand gets stuck under you, too.
Oh, yeah. He felt like a Family Guy character.
Oh, man.
Boy, God dang Jared Goff. But I'm just like,
I would have been mad too. I would have blamed somebody else.
Listen, I would have been tight. But I'm thinking like, Jared, if you go over there, go over there. Don't go over there like, let me make it look good. Because they not messing around. They not playing with you.
Yeah, you might as well stay out of the way.
Just stay out the way. These boys, man, Aaron Rodgers throw a pick. He looking like, y'all better get him.
Yeah, facts.
Like, live to play another day, man. You almost, and the Lions, they just... What the Commanders, the Commanders out-Lions the Lions.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Cliff Kingsbury was in his bag.
He was in his bag, man.
I think he's been in his bag for a while. I think the confidence actually started when they won the game with Mariota as the backup, when he was walking down the sideline like, ooh, I'm him.
For sure.
He was feeling himself. Awesome.
That boy Cliff Kingsbury skyrocketed up these coaching ranks.
He's carried that over into the season or in the postseason. Started with the Buccaneers. Just him and Jaden Daniels being on the same page. They was locked in. I felt like they ran the ball very, very well, whether it was Brian Robinson or Eckler when he got his few touches. He was flashing. Jaden Daniels, though, he going to be a problem.
Hey, I tell you this. This is what I'll say, man. The writing was kind of on the wall. In the playoffs, you got to be able to get home with 4 at some point.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you knew Detroit couldn't get home with 4.
Yeah,
they blitzed on 54% of their defensive snaps. They blitzed. Jaden Daniels, when getting blitzed, 12 of 16, 191 yards and a tub. That dude That dude against the blitz.
Yeah, he got poise, man.
Yeah, he do. He do, and it's like Kurt Warner said something. You know, Kurt's a Hall of Fame quarterback, so when he's talking, I'm really like locked into what he's saying because he's a film watcher. He loved watching and breaking down film. And one thing he said that resonated with me is he said, people who are calm in the clutch or in crunch time, they're not doing anything that they haven't been doing the entire game. They didn't do before that. That's why they look so calm, is because it's the things they always do. They're not changing nothing. They're always calm. They're never like frantic or panicked. This is just another play. It just so happens to be the situation. And he said, when you watch Jayden Daniels, he's like this the entire game. Up, down, whatever.
He's chewing that damn mouthpiece like he's Steph Curry. Like, I'm telling you,
and when he said that, I'm like, dang, that make a lot of sense. You watch number 8 at the beginning of the game, at the end of the game, he looked like the same person. That's why people, and Jayden Daniels is beyond his years. He's just, the way he's reading it, and it could be a combination of both. It could be Cliff, and it can be him, but he's doing this over and over and over again, man. And they hit with Jayden Daniels. But I just want to shout out their defense. One of the things I said before the playoffs started is, if you want to win, you got to pack a defense. And we've been Jayden Daniels, Scary Terry, this offense. And this defense showed, hey, we can hold our own too. You took the number one offense in the league, scoring-wise. They were number 1 in points, number 2 in yards. They scored 31, but y'all put up 44. And we had a question on game day, if it became a shootout, could the Commanders keep up? And a lot of people said, well, shoot, I don't know if they can keep up because they just ain't got enough. That defense said, oh, we got enough. We'll do our part.
Yeah, they had turnovers, boy.
Man, they took that ball away, man. So shout out to them, man.
Sickening.
Shout out to them. And the Commanders.
You know what's going to be really hard is I assume both those coordinators are getting head jobs. I don't know how you don't want to give the farm to Ben Johnson after you see some of the plays. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you saw now Ben Johnson leave to go to the Bears, a rival with Caleb Williams and the offensive weapons they have over there.
They got chewed. Hey, and listen, and like you said, Cliff Kingsbury, he drawing it up.
Yep.
What they're doing right now, Cliff Kingsbury gonna be somebody head coach next year. Yeah. Man, listen.
Then you got Aaron Glenn. Is he gonna be a head coach? Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh man, like.
And now my boy, I ain't gonna say who it was. He said he doesn't really know if what am I drawing? Dan Campbell is an X's and O's guy.
Ooh.
So the Lions' window of winning.
You think it's closing?
I think it depends. Listen, if they lose both
Ben
these
Johnson
coordinators,
was the guy.
If they lose both these coordinators, because you got to think, when you think about a team, they take on the identity of their head coach. This team played with so much grit. That's why they lost all these players and still ended up number 1 seed and in his point, because they're fighters. They're fighters. That's what their head coach is. He's this, and he's an emotional leader, and you could tell by his press conference, just like you said. He said the same thing you said. You put in all this work. Y'all don't know what these guys go through and what everybody goes through to get to this point. It hurts to lose. Yeah. And Dan Campbell, as tough as he is and this persona he has, he couldn't hold back tears because of all the work he's put in.
Yeah.
But at the same token, we don't know how much of an X's and O's guy he is, because look at what his offense is. Look at what his defense was able to accomplish, starting with losing Aiden Hutchinson, and then it just domino effect. And they still got the number 1 seed. And they lost Aiden Hutchinson way early. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Aaron Glenn being at the top of people's list, You just seen Ben Johnson took a job.
Yeah, that Ben Johnson one.
I don't know what the Lions are going to be, man. I don't know. Because he was drawing it up.
Yeah, some of the plays he was.
What? Bro, so when Teddy Bridgewater came in, they ran that reverse. I don't
mean to be like this, but do you think he was just like, I don't care because I got the Bears job? I'm not saying he would, but he's like, I'll do a reverse and let J-Mo throw the ball. Why not?
He's just like, hey man, we gonna go out there and see what happens. He threw that pick. He like, sure. He probably.
I wonder what Amon's gonna say on his podcast about it. You think he gonna keep it a G?
Yeah, he got to keep it a bean. He can now. That's what I'm saying, man. Listen, people be too afraid. Like, say what you, man. He gone now. Say what you.
Yeah.
We was on the show and we did a segment with Max Crosby. He loved you, by the way. We did a segment with Max Crosby, and it was like, tell us who this person is based off just their face. And it was just a picture of the person's, who they was, and he knew that name and whatever. And it was Havenstein from the Rams, and he was like, yeah, they was like, how do you beat him and what are y'all matchups being? He was like, well, with all due respect, he was like, with all due respect, his feet he don't have the best feet, and his feet are kind of this and that. I said, hey man, stop beating around the bush, man. That boy ain't got no feet, man. His feet are slow. He can't move. Just say it. Like, so I think
we already know Max doesn't like offensive linemen.
That's what I said. And I told him, he was like, "No, G, I'm talking about respect to his family and all." Man, that dude is a professional football player.
He'll be all right.
You didn't say he was trash. You didn't say none of that.
Trash.
And he's not trash at all. So that's why I'm like, you can say what his flaw is. It's just a flaw he got. Everybody got them. There's certain things that people, and I was like, I don't like old linemen, so I ain't about to just beat around the bush. I'm gonna say what it is. So I say that to say this. Ben Johnson just went to somebody in y'all division. You ain't got to disrespect the man, but you can say how you actually feel about certain situations. You ain't got to disrespect nobody to tell the truth. Like, people so afraid to hear the truth now.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
All right, one last game before the break. Let's hit it real quick.
Rams Eagles. Nick Sirianni. That's all I'm going to say. We watched the game. We know what happened. The Rams had a shot. Didn't go their way. Jalen Carter's that guy. They D-line is really good. Saquon, you the man. Nick Sirianni. Let me say this, and then I ain't got nothing else to say. You better be glad that they didn't go score.
How come?
Because that would have been your last day as a Philly coach.
You think?
Why on earth does your running back rush for 200 yards? And to close the game out, you put it in the hands of the guy that almost tricked the game off earlier. Not put it in my best player's hands who you just ran for a 160-yard run the drive before. I'm going to put it in
78-yarder to the crib.
A 78-yarder to the crib. The drive before. The drive right before this, he did that. That wasn't in the first quarter, second. It was the drive right before this one. All we have to do is get a couple first downs, and he is unstoppable right now. But I'm going to do a fake and roll out and take a sack?
Yeah.
Instead of just give it. Clearly, it don't matter how many people in the box. They can't stop him. So you're going to, I said this yesterday, and I love you, but I said, if I'm Buffalo, Josh Allen, we not kicking his field goal. I'm a live and die with putting it in his hand. We going for this. We are going to try and score this touchdown because look what happened. Y'all drove down the field, and if Mark catch that ball, now we in overtime, or we have a shot for overtime.
We're going to overtime.
Yeah, we going over. There we go. So you live and die with your guy. Put the ball in Saquon's hands, and whatever happened. So that's all I got to say about that. The Rams, they played a great game. Jared Verse.
Yeah,
shouts to you.
He was my number one edge in this draft, and he played.
You a young bull. You said, F them fans. Yo. I don't like them. I'm going in their house and I'm gonna show you, and you showed up. I gotta respect.
I love that.
Hey, when he was hitting it with the, I was like, okay, young bull. All right.
He's a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, man, that dude, and he played,
technique.
he played like it, man. And shout out to him. But that's my only takes from the game,
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Jalen Carter, man. That dude don't even know how good he can be.
Yeah.
He's just playing
what was
right now.
Interesting though was this game was a dog fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had 2 big plays by Saquon, but other than that, it was a dog fight.
Yeah, it was a dog fight.
Stafford was dicing a little bit. Both D lines were rushing the passer well in this game. The Philly rushed a little bit more.
I do want to say this.
A little bit better than Philly rushed the ball a little bit better than Los Angeles. I felt like they could have rushed the ball even more with Kyron.
Yeah.
I think that
Kyron was running the heck out that ball, man.
I think that fumble scared him a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's starting to kind of be a problem with him. He's fumbled quite a bit in his two seasons. But all in all, I thought this was a great game. And then to have that memory that Saquon is going to have forever for that long touchdown to the crib.
It's a snow classic.
And sliding in the snow. Oh, man. With it's the whole classic. Philly, like, why did y'all not pay me?
We're going to go back to this game and realize it's one of those playoff snow classics. It was a really good game.
Pay these running backs?
Yeah, I don't know. But I want to say this. Talk about technique and executing. The Rams O-line had a major breakdown on the 2 most important plays of the game. That 3rd and 4th down, that protection broke down. A lot of people like, oh, Jalen Carter, he a dog. He is all of the dog y'all say he is. But those 2 plays, and I'm going to break it down on the show on Sunday, they had a major breakdown in protection. He came down into the A. They were slide protected to the right. And when you on the inside, you got to take the A gap. But the center and the guard is supposed to help the center, but he's supposed to keep eyes on the end. And this is why having a great edge rusher matters. Nolan Smith was cooking. So that guard was on Havenstein, who we just talked about. And he's saying, I need to go help with him because he can go ruin this game. But in doing so, he went too fast. The center is thinking, I have to, okay, he's here. I know I got help, so I'm going to peek here. As soon as he peeked here, the guard took off running and Jalen Carter just came free. You can't have that in the crunch time, man. We have to be hitting on all cylinders. Okay, 3rd down, he gets the sack. We got one more shot at this. They did it again. The guard was looking out and he just took off running. I need to help with Nolan Smith. Jalen, I don't know if he did this on purpose. I would love to see if I can call and ask him. He went to the center's
He's probably not going to answer.
He's not going to answer. He seems like a guy that's like, no, I'm good, bro. But he came to the center's face.
I'm good.
I'm good, man. I'm going to Super Bowl. He went to the center's face halfway, acted like he was going to cross, and then he bite and came back. I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he was just balling. I think he was just balling. But it was a breakdown in protection again, and you can't have that.
Another thing I want to point out with just how lucky sometimes the ball bounces, because the Eagles did put the ball on the ground. Like Cooper DeJean muffed the punt on like the 5-yard line. Could you imagine if he didn't jump on that? I mean, who knows what would have happened, Sometimes it's all about just how the ball bounces, and sometimes it bounces your way, and sometimes it don't. Like the Rams lost 2 fumbles, and the Eagles didn't have a turnover,
Like if Lamar dropped the ball and it somehow bounced and slide back, it slides right into an offensive lineman's hands, and we good. Play the next play. But that ain't how it went.
And we had one of those in the game. You know, receiver got a ball punched out and it landed right on it, luckily. Or else that would have been number 4.
Yeah, man. It is.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah. And, that's something, too, you need to work on as a defense. 2 playoff games in a row, no turnovers. You got to get turnovers. It sucks not getting
being
turnovers.
Focused on the ball, Ball's the program, man.
Yeah, the ball is everything. I mean, with that, we're going to take a break.
Take a quick break, and then we're going to get into our Game Wreckers and Playmakers segment, make some predictions, then we out of here. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, y'all, we back. This is our Game Wreckers and Playmakers segment. You know, Killer, I know it didn't go your way, but you're not a hater.
No.
And you always show love. You give flowers where flowers are due. So we're going to run through this segment. My Game Wrecker is Jalen Carter. The boy balled. You know, he seen Jared Verse on the other side, and he said, hey, I got to do what I got to do. My guy Nolan is getting busy. He need help. So I'm going to get this push up the middle, and that's what he did, man. He wrecked the whole game. And then my man, hey, don't be upset if I mess your name up. Mike Sanderstall. I think that's what it is. Either way, man, you ball for the Commanders, had 2 picks. And without those takeaways, we don't know if y'all win this game. So that's my game record and my playmaker. Who you got, Killer?
You know, I'm going to switch mine up. I had for defense as my game record, I had somebody, but I'm switching it to George Karlaftis because he had a 3-piece.
Yes.
And he wrecked the game for the Houston Texans.
Yes.
Like, he had a 3-piece, and they were timely too. One was at the end of the game.
What a time to have his sacks too, man.
One was really timely, and I think he deserves game record. And you know, I would also put the Chiefs defense. They sacked him 8 times and had the fourth down stop. So Karlaftis, main one, but the Chiefs defense collectively. But Karlaftis was my game record. My game record, I'd say, for offense or game breaker or game playmaker. Ooh, you heard that? You heard it?
I heard you. Go on and show love,
my
man.
My game breaker, my game playmaker on offense. There we go. It's Saquon Barkley. I mean, you rush for 200 yards in a playoff game. You have a 78-yarder to the crib. You have another long run to the crib. You get to do your little thing. I don't know if I really like that, but hey, do what you got to do. You the game playmaker. I think your team, if you keep that up, is going to be in the Super Bowl.
You know what I love about that is he just stayed on par with what we've been seeing. He seen D-Hen go off for 190, and he said, I got to get one of them. I need one too. And he went off for 200. I was like, man, he dude going back and forth with this, man. That's insane.
Crazy too.
Yeah, but I also want to throw an honorable mention. First ballot Hall of Famer, arguably the greatest of all time, Travis Kelce, showed up and showed out even after, according to his standards, people said he had a down year. He showed everybody why he is who he is. It's what he does in the playoffs. He gets in the playoffs and he do his number. So my honorable mention is Travis Kelce. Now, unfortunately, Killer, we got to make some predictions.
Yeah.
We're going to run through these real quick. Eagles, Commanders.
Eagles, Commanders. I'm going Eagles, bro.
Yeah, I got Eagles at home. I think it's going to be a great game, but I just got Eagles at home. And Chiefs, Bills.
Neither.
Screw them. Cancel the game.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. That game sucks.
Man. Golly.
I mean, there's 2 evils, right? For me.
The lesser of 2 evils is...
Go ahead, you pick first.
I got Chiefs, man. I think if y'all didn't win it, I had Chiefs winning it, man. Like, I felt like the only team, this is me, I felt like the only team who had the formula top to bottom to knock the Chiefs off was the Baltimore Ravens. You know why? Because y'all had the defense to match their defense. Okay? Y'all had,
the offense,
they control the clock.
Yeah.
What they do is control the clock.
Yeah.
They can't control the clock like y'all. I don't care what Patrick Mahomes and all them is doing. You know why? Because Lamar, he can throw or he can run. And then they don't have a Derrick Henry.
Nope.
So y'all had everything to keep the ball from them, so they couldn't do. So if y'all didn't knock them off, I don't see nobody else knocking them off. I got the Chiefs winning it all, so I'm going with the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs too. Dang it. Can't believe I just said that.
Is Mahomes and Allen the current day version of Brady and Manning? No, because Lamar is the MVP.
Yeah.
So we got to stop throwing Josh Allen in there and Lamar winning all the stuff. Josh Allen, as great as he is, Lamar and he's most likely going to get a third one. So we talk about the who's the who with this. We praise the Josh Allens and the Mahomeses, but it really should be Mahomes and Lamar. That's the one. That's just me. But anyway.
Yeah, it should. That's a bummer. All right, thanks everybody.
Hey, man, we gonna let Killer go, man. We gonna let Killer go, but I just want to
being a loser, G.
I just want to say this. This is not our last show. Yeah. This is our last show with Killer as an actual active player for this season. Yep. So I just want to say this from me and the rest of the Yahoo family, Killer. It's been a pleasure to watch you perform, watch your team perform, give us insight on everything you've done this year.
Thank you.
Proud of you, man, for your individual season, your team success. That 250 that was behind me a couple episodes ago, we not going to forget it because it's still deposit coming. Hit. It still hit. So just from me and the rest of the Yahoo family to you, man, it's been freaking incredible up to this point. We still got more shows. We got Super Bowl coming up and all that. But I know personally, we was all in that group chat like, God dang. We was all hurting. Man. Yeah. So I feel like we lost the game.
No, you've been awesome, G. Like, obviously, this is not the last show, but you cheering us on and then being an advocate for us and then me, too. Thank you for, being a good friend towards me, repping me. Showcasing me any chance you get. You're not doing that just because you're my friend. You're doing it because you think I deserve it.
For sure.
That's how you roll. You keep it a bean. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you spreading the word and the love. So it means a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Hey, we love y'all. Hopefully, y'all can see how difficult it is to be in this. And, once y'all see this, spread the word, man. Show Killer some love, man, because he did not have to come on and do this show, man. He could have easily said, nah, give me a week, and then we'll go again next week. He didn't do that. No. He didn't do that. And a big part of that is because he loved all the support that you guys have given us, and he does it for y'all, man. So we love y'all, and we out, and we'll see y'all next week.